place at the right time, right where I'm supposed to be. You're in the right place at the right time. You're right where you're supposed to be. And oh, your soul is welcomed here. Oh, your soul is welcomed here. You're getting the message loud and clear. Your soul is welcomed here. You're in the right place at the right time. You're right where you're supposed to be. You're in the right place at the right time. You're right where you're supposed to be. And oh, your soul is welcomed here. Your soul is welcomed here. You're getting the message loud and clear. Your soul is welcomed here. Your soul is welcome here.
Jesus Christ is here, lifting us up to that own Christ consciousness within each one of us. Let us begin with prayer. Sweet, sweet Spirit, as we gather today in community, we gather to learn and to grow and to be more that presence, to bring forth our light, that Christ light within each one of us so that it may radiate out and fill all with the energy of love and peace. And so it is. Amen. Well, welcome everyone to Unity of Austin. It's going to be a hot one today, so I'm glad you're joining us and getting a little nourishment for your soul and staying in the AC, I hope, or somewhere nice and cool, wherever you may be coming in from. We are an open and inclusive community here where we continue to learn and unlearn and teach and practice those universal Christ principles that were taught by our way shower, Jesus Christ. And we are so glad you're here with us today.
Good morning, everyone. Please stand and sing with us. God makes me want to sing.
I can't help it, God makes me want to sing. I can't help it, God makes me want to sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. And I'm loving every living thing. I can see the face of God in paupers and kings. We're all precious, no one less or more. We've all got the same treasures in store, and I'm loving every living thing. I can't help it, God makes me want to sing. I can't help it, God makes me want to sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. And I'm believing in my guiding light. No matter what comes, it always turns out right. I just dig down to how I feel. I take a deep breath and grab the wheel, so I'm believing in my guiding light. Oh, I can't help it, God makes me want to sing. I can't help it, God makes you want to sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. And I'm rising to a higher place, with the wind at my back and a smile upon my face. And living my dream a little more each day, it keeps getting easier to find my way, so I'm rising to a higher place. I can't help it, God makes you want to sing. I can't help it, God makes you want to sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most. Makes me feel so good, I can do most. Makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Please join me in our blessing of all faiths. Our God is love, our race is human, and our religion is oneness. And you may be seated. And good morning, Unity of Austin. It's good to see you all this morning. We know you have many choices on Sunday mornings, and we are glad you've chosen to be here with us. And for that, we are grateful. And in the spirit of gratitude, I would like to introduce again Reverend Carol Rainey Mancata as our interim minister here at Unity of Austin. Reverend Carol has been a participant of this church for over 30 years, and as part of her own spiritual journey, she became an ordained Unity minister in June of 2020. Little did she know that she was being called to be our interim minister here at Unity Church of Austin. So thank you, Reverend Carol, for living in the flow of spirit. And as we know from Unity teachings, we cannot fully receive a blessing without acknowledgement. So I would like to acknowledge Reverend Carol as our interim minister. Thank you. And I'd like to say receive it because it feels really good. On to our regular announcements. It feels good to be here in the sanctuary and with Unity family for our Sunday services. And I personally really feel it and I appreciate it, and I just want to let you all know it feels great. And at the same time, we will continue to live stream Sunday services on Facebook as well as on YouTube. And as you may be aware, the City of Austin public health authorities have moved Austin to medium risk for COVID, and the sanctuary is open for in-person attendance. And for everyone's safety and well-being, if you have symptoms of illness, please participate in our Sunday services via Facebook or YouTube. And for fully vaccinated people, masks are optional but strongly recommended. And if unvaccinated, N95 masks are required and available at the entrance. And please remember, when possible, to maintain 3 feet of social distance. And thank you for expressing God's love in action. So this is a loving Unity community, and we are here for you. If you need prayer or just a listening ear, please call our church or email minister@unitychurchaustin.org. Again, that's minister@unitychurchaustin.org. And you can also reach out to us through the church website. And Reverend Carol checks her voicemail and returns messages. Keep up and stay current on things going on at Unity of Austin. There's a lot of stuff that is really happening all week long. And I know that some of our staff members and interim minister are very busy. So I want you all to know that there are many ways to stay connected, but my favorite way is Shine the Light weekly email. And it just comes to my email inbox on Thursdays, and it has all of our church updates, including our Sunday service and bulletin. You may also stay current by visiting the Unity of Austin website and Unity Church Austin Facebook page. Also, recently, we are now on Instagram and Twitter, and our handle for Instagram is Unity Church Austin, and for Twitter, that is Unity of Austin. And Sisters of Myrtle Fillmore meet the third Monday of the month, and they meet from 7 to 9 p.m., and this is a group of women that focus on growing spiritually through a monthly program and loving support. And they're now meeting via Zoom video conferencing, and if you're interested in attending, please email Patty Ivy, and you may get her contact information from our church office. It looks like there's another announcement from Janice.
I just wanted to say that we are meeting in person, the Sisters of Myrtle.
Thank you.
We're meeting in person as well as Zoom.
Well, good news, Sisters of Myrtle Fillmore is meeting in person here at the church in the gathering room, as well as on Zoom. So if you would like to commune with Sisters of Myrtle Fillmore in person, please join them on the third Monday of the month from 7 to 9 p.m. And if you're unable to come to the church to join, you can do that on Zoom video conferencing as well. Thank you, Janice. And there's also Tuesday's book study ministry, and that meets at 7 p.m. And the book study ministry is reading the Book of Joy, and they are meeting via Zoom video conferencing. And if you're interested in attending, please contact the church offices as well. And there is a Wednesday evening prayer at 7 p.m. on Unity Church Austin Facebook. And this is where you can put a little faith lift in the middle of your week. Please join Reverend Carol for reflection on a practical spiritual idea and a peaceful meditation. And feel free to share your thoughts and comments in the comment box on Facebook. And it wraps up at about 7:20. And if you can't be there at 7 p.m., you can always watch the video later. And we are thinking of our children, and that is why we have The Spark. The Spark is a youth and family ministry weekly e-newsletter, and you can subscribe at any time at unitychurchaustin.org under the Contact Us. And The Spark contains the youth and family ministry Sunday lesson, a video of our youth and family ministry team teacher bringing a short version of the children's Sunday lesson, Kids Play. And here you will find resources for parents, grandparents, uncles and aunts, and more. And we encourage you to be a subscriber and pass along The Spark. And with those being our announcements, I think that there are a couple of other announcements that our board member, Gayla Harris, will bring. And Gayla, I'd like for you to let us know.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Good morning. I'm Gayla, and I'm your board president. And I want to let you know today that we had some recent changes in the board. Tessa Blackman has decided to resign. her position on the board and her position as treasurer due to extenuating personal circumstances. And even as she did that, she avowed her love and appreciation for Unity of Austin and said that she will continue to serve in the future when things calm down. So we're most grateful for your service, Tessa, who's not here today, but maybe she'll watch this on Facebook Live, and we'll let her know how much we love her. We are grateful for your continued support of this community that we all share. And there's more. Tessa had the foresight to mention her plans to our beloved Patty Ivy Bliss, who is here today, who offered to step in and complete Tessa's term. She may have done that kind of offhand, I don't know, but we jumped on it. And I'm sure I don't have all the details exactly right, but ultimately that is what happened. And I'm happy to say that Patty is now back on the board and she's back in the treasury position. So this is clearly divine order. I'd like to have you join me now in blessing both Tessa, who's not here, but we hope she gets this, we know she will, and Patty for their service. Tessa and Patty, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Thank you. And I have another announcement. I mentioned last week that I would share the unfolding plans for our Minister Search Committee, and we are well underway. 4 people have said yes to this important call. And these 4 people are Janet Rourke, Robin Fryer, who's out today, Patty Ivy Bliss, and Martha Eigelhart. Martha is serving as the board liaison to the search committee. Now, the board felt that the committee should consist of 5 people, and as you heard, we just have 4 right now. So we're asking today if there's anyone among you who would like to participate and serve our community in this way. We do have some criteria for the position, and here they are. Be a member of Unity of Austin for at least a year. Demonstrate a Christ-centered consciousness. Be openly involved in church activities. Is responsible and accountable. Demonstrate prosperity through a giving practice. And is prayerful, self-aware, and open-minded. It's pretty easy. So if this calls to you, you can let us know by sending an email to the church office. And here's how you do that. You go to our website, which is unitychurchaustin.org, and click on Contact Us. It's right at the top of the first page that opens up. It's to the far right. Click on Contact Us. That'll give you a form to fill out. That's simply your name and how to contact you, and then a space where you can say what you're contacting us about. So you can say right there, I'm interested in serving on the search committee. We are blessed to share in this faith-filled, Christ-centered, loving community, and we look forward to these next several months of evaluating in depth who we are and where we are headed as we search for a new senior minister. Thank you all.
And with that being said, I would also like to add that the minister search is very important, and this church is very important, and that our church is not just the minister, but it is the ministry, and it is the members of this church. So I just want to really put that out there and appreciate this church as well. So now it's time to meet and greet, and please remember, in place of hugs, we're bumping elbows, fists, and any other appropriate body part. So feel free. Thank you.
I am one with everything around me. I let go and simply be. Moving forward with the understanding, being one can set us free. I am one with everything around me. I let go and simply be. Moving forward with the understanding, being one can set us free. One with you, one with me, one with you, one with me. I am love with everything around me. I let go and simply be. Moving forward with the understanding, only love can set us free. I am love with everything around me. I let go and simply be. Moving forward with the understanding, only love can set us free. Love with you, love with me, love with you, love with me. I am peace with everything around me. I let go and simply be. Moving forward with the understanding, only peace can set us free. I am peace with everything around me. I let go and simply be. Moving forward with the understanding, only peace can set us free. Peace with you, peace with me, peace with you, peace with me.
You may be seated. Today, July 10th, 2022, the daily word is generous. The limitless resources of infinite spirit flow through my loving heart and clear mind as a never-ending supply of divine ideas. I always have all that I need to live abundantly, and I share my abundance with others joyfully and freely. I give generously of my resources, talents, and skills, happy to support those I care about. I am generous with praise, gratitude, and encouragement. I give generously of my time. I'm a good friend, a devoted family member, and a compassionate listener. Whenever I give without thought of reciprocation, I center myself in the divine flow. I am grateful, trusting recipient of Spirit's unfailing generosity and a conduit through which all of God's blessings flow. And from Proverbs 11:25, a generous person will be enriched, and one who gives water will get water. Now let us prepare for meditation.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, God is there. In the light now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there.
I invite you now to gently close your eyes and move your attention to your breath. As we go into meditation, the breath allows us to relax as we follow that movement and as we gently release. Breathing in slowly, we can feel that sacred breath going into all those spaces that need that comfort, allowing us to let go as we gently, ever so gently exhale. Breathing in, opening up, feeling that expansion within us, that which allows our hearts and our minds to open up, to be receptive, feeling safe as we gently let go, relaxing, giving ourselves that holy freedom to just be, to just trust. Breathing in, becoming aware of that deep space within me, allowing this time of communion to ground me, allowing for that strength, for the courage, for whatever the needs are, to rise up. Letting go of all else. And in this moment, when I can gently let go, Spirit comes to me in many ways. My need may be for that Father Spirit. Perhaps it is for the Mother Spirit. It knows all that I need, and those are given to me. For as I listen, I can hear, beloved child, come to me. Rest in me. Let it go. Let me fill you. Leave your burdens. Leave your worries. Rest in the moment. Let me wrap you with this love. Let me wrap you with this life and know how beautiful you truly are. For you have been created from this womb of beauty, this womb of love. Come, rest, beloved. And so into the silence, we truly rest and simply be in the silence. And now as I rise up from the silence, I bring with me those gifts that free me to be all that I was meant to be. And to the allness that is, I say thank you. Thank you. And I invite you now to allow that breath, that sacred breath, to slowly and gently bring you back into this present moment. And as we close this time of communion, this time of grounding with the God within each one of us, I invite you to join us in the singing of these affirmations, also known as the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen.
They say everything can be replaced. They say every distance is not near. So I remember every face of every man who put me here. Well, I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, I shall be released. They say everyone needs protection. They say everyone must fall. Yet I swear I see my reflection somewhere so high above this wall. Well, I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, now, I shall be relieved. Now he understands a man in this lonely crowd, a man who swears he's not to blame. And all day long I can hear him shouting out, crying out that he was framed. Well, I see my light shine from the west down to the east. Any day now, I shall be relieved. Any day now, I shall be relieved.
God speaker will travel. All right, let's start with our affirmation. And our affirmation is, I claim Spirit's innate gift of freedom to free myself and others. And I'm going to invite you to affirm that with me 3 more times. And that's so that we can get grounded in the truth of who we are. And that's why we affirm these truth statements. So, I claim my Spirit's innate gift of freedom to free myself and others. All right, movement sometimes helps us get into it, right? It kind of helps create a little bit more energy. All right, I claim Spirit's innate gift of freedom to free myself and others. All right, one more time. I claim Spirit's innate gift of freedom to free myself and others. Okay, well, this month our theme is freedom. And last week I spoke a little bit to the foundation. Our foundation is God, is that divine energy, whatever name you give that divine being, that higher power within you. And it's where we start, isn't it? That foundation. Wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is your freedom. And freedom means many different things to us, depending on where we are in our lives or what's happening. But true freedom will always come from knowing whose we are. And so today, that will lead me to oysters. I think it's a natural subject to get into, right? So oysters. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in South Louisiana, so I know a little bit about oysters. They were kind of one of our staples. Of course, my favorite way to eat them is still fried. I love those fried oysters. But it's not about how you eat the oyster, right? It's about the oyster itself. Now, the oyster, it's just kind of a little placid little thing, just there, right? And they're both in salt water and fresh water. And in Louisiana, you have both salt water and fresh water running, especially in South Louisiana. Well, every once in a while, that little oyster gets a little bit of grit of sand in it or some other foreign object. And it just kind of, gets irritated. And it tries to fight it. But there's no fight in this. There's just no getting rid of it. So what the oyster does, it has within them this substance called nacre, and it starts to form layers over this sand or this foreign substance. And over the years, it just keeps layering and layering. And what this does, it produces one of the most priceless and beautiful gifts that we have, and that's the pearl, right? So that's why I'm wearing my pearls today. Even on my dress that doesn't want to hold this. So the pearl, it transformed its irritant into a pearl. So it freed itself from that irritant by layering it over and over again. Over and over. So we're a lot like oysters, aren't we? You know, we get these irritants. We get these little grains of sands, you know, but they've worked their way inside of us. Not just within our own lives, but these are grains of sand. These are irritants that have taken generations to become our irritants today. And I'm talking ancestors, right? There are things that happen to us today, but there are things that we hold into us that have been passed on. And not just consciously and subconsciously, but they're part of our body. Our body holds trauma. Our bodies hold trauma from thousands of years ago because we continue to have these irritants. We continue to try to resist them and fight them instead of transforming them. So, the good news about all that is that, like the oyster, we have something within us. We have that power of God within us to transform. So each of us has the potential to be more. Who's that our iconic Unity minister, Reverend Eric Butterworth, tells us that no matter what the problem is, or the fear, the insecurity, whatever it is that has worked its way into us, we can transform it, that we can get busy pearling. That's the work for all of us, is to get busy pearling. So, we can transform these irritants into pearls, which will ultimately lead to our freedom. Or we can let them to continue to imprison us. Now, what are your irritants? And do we know all of our irritants? Have we really looked at all of them? Have we been willing to do what we need to do to be free, whatever that may mean to you or your current understanding of freedom? We may think we want freedom from a lot of different things. But until we do that inner work, this outer stuff, it will always be our irritant. It will always be something else. Until we start understanding and letting go of some of these grits of sand, those prisons are our thoughts and our false beliefs. So there's no legend of the Middle Ages. There was a man who was arrested by one of the barons who owned a castle with a dungeon. And so he's arrested and he is taken by a very intimidating looking guard down, 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 deep into the castle where the dungeon is. And he opens this big door that creaks and moans, and he throws the guy in there. And every day, this guard comes down, and he's got this big key that he holds on to. And he opens the door, and he throws in his food and his water every day for 20 years. After about 20 years, the guy says, I just can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I don't want to live this way. But I can't kill myself. I'll attack the guard, and he'll get so angry, he'll kill me. It'll be over. I'll be out of my misery because I just don't want to go on anymore. So he says, well, he goes test the door, goes by the door so he can be prepared for when this big guy comes in. And he looks at the door, and he takes the handle and he opens it. The door is open. And he looks, there is no lock on the door. The door has no lock. Now, for 20 years, he believed there was a lock on the door. So he didn't even try to open the door. So he walks out, and he goes up all the many, many steps. And at the entrance, he sees two guards, one of the big guy, and then another guard. But they don't pay him any mind. And he just walks across the field to the moat, to the bridge, and there are armed guards up there as well. But they don't pay him any mind. And he goes home, and he lives happily ever after. Now, the prison wasn't one of stone and iron, but his own beliefs. His belief was that he was in prison and that there was nothing going to change. It would never change. But he was willing to open the door one day and walk out that door. So that's the work for us. Find what is imprisoning you. We're all living in some kind of prison. But those prisons are in our thoughts and our belief systems. Thoughts and belief systems that we can change, that we can open up to. In the when the early Christian communities were being formed, the followers had these challenges. Most of them were raised as good Jewish people. They followed the rituals and the rules of their religion. And there were a lot of rules, and there were a lot of rituals. And then here comes this radical guy, Jesus, who teaches them you can be free of some of this. It is about your inner work. That power is within you. It is not in the rules and the rituals. If you want true freedom, then know the power that is within you. Let go of those false beliefs that block you from being this expression of this higher power. And there were some tensions and irritations because those who were more orthodox in their beliefs felt that in order to be a true Christian, you had to follow these rites and rituals of Judaism. But the new Christian community wasn't quite feeling that. And Paul, when he wrote to these communities and traveled to the communities, he told them that he had found a path, that what Jesus' teachings were about was about a path of love, and that he found a path that led him to wholeness. And that was the teachings of Jesus. It was his path. This is what led him to freedom. Because remember, Paul wasn't such a nice guy when he was Saul. Yeah. And he had his own transformation. So he went from that grit of sand to that pearl. right? And in one of the communities that he spoke to in Galatia, in the Galatians there, they were having these tensions. And he tells them, for freedom, Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and be not entangled, again, in a yoke of bondage. And that's found in Galatians 5, verse 1. And he tells them this over and over again. Look inside. Connect with that which is inside of you. Emmett Fox, who was a New Thought spiritual leader, and he was famous for his large church in New York City, tells us that the Jesus Christ teachings, and he also says unity movement, in particular, comes to us and says, you are not locked in a prison of circumstances. You are not chained in any dungeons. He says, in the name of God, turn the handle, walk out, and be free. In other words, get busy transforming those thoughts into pearls of freedom. Stir up those gifts of God that you have within you. Through a consistent practice of the presence of God, you will change. You will see a transformation. Here, our tools are prayer and meditation and affirmations and denials. Denials that anything else has any power over you. Now, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. After all, you don't go from a sand to a pearl overnight either. It takes time, but it also takes commitment and a willingness. When I first made a commitment to the spiritual path, it wasn't easy. There'd be times I'd go to bed, and I think, oh my God, I hadn't thought about God all week. Boy, that stressed me out, because here I am making a commitment, and I hadn't even thought about God. And then I realized, well, I've got to take some actions. It's not just a verbal commitment, right? I've got to do some actions. At the time I was working, and I went in early as it was. So I started getting up at 4:30 so that I would have the time for meditation and prayer and journaling. Okay, so I had to set a second alarm because I'd always fall asleep, at least the first maybe year. But, eventually, I began to see I was transforming, that I was changing how I viewed my world. And others were seeing that transformation in me too. And I realized I was becoming freer to start expressing who I really was, who I felt I was, who I was being shown who I was. I didn't give up, and that's important. It's about not giving up, because we're going to have those bumps, aren't we? So here on Sundays, we speak briefly about spiritual truths. Well, most of the time it's briefly. Sometimes we go on. But it's about the spiritual truths that Jesus not only taught, but he patterned for us. There are other avenues here that allow you to dive deeper into that. Through our classes, through our meditations, just many ways. It's just about being willing to do it. Willing to stop fighting that foreign substance or those grains of sand that have irritated you. To start relaxing and seeing, allowing that power that is within you to start transforming who you are. Because the world needs your pearl that only you can uniquely create. So, by the way, the oyster and that substance that they called nacre, the one that transforms, there's another name for it. It's also called mother of pearl. So, Today I want to end with the oyster story, and it's by an anonymous writer. There once was an oyster whose story I'll tell, who found that some sand had worked under its shell. Just one little grain, but it gave him such pain, for oysters have feeling that are very plain. Now, did he berate the working of fate that left him in such a deplorable state? Did he curse the government, call for an election, or gripe that the sea should have given him protection? No, he said to himself as he sat on the shelf, since I cannot remove it, I think I'll improve it. Well, years passed by, as years always do, till he came to his destiny, oyster stew. But the small grain of sand that had bothered him so was a beautiful pearl, all richly aglow. Now this tale has a moral, for isn't it grand what an oyster can do with a small grain of sand? And what couldn't we do if we'd only begin with all of the things that get under our skin? Today, may we all get busy pearling. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Reverend Carroll, for your message on pearls of freedom and how to transform our irritants into pearls of freedom. We can unlock our inner power and transform our lives to achieve our freedom and express who we really are. So with that, I'd like to move on to talking about us staying connected through our spiritual practice of financial giving. So we would like to thank all members and congregants who continue to support this ministry. And we also would like to remind you that you can always give through our secure website portal, and you can mail your check to our church through money order or check to the church office. And you can also set up an automatic payment to Unity of Austin through your financial institution. And lastly, there is always an offering box in the lobby, and you're welcome to leave a gift there. So with that, I would like to move on to our offering and to say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother, God.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God's so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God's so good to me.
come, be unbroken by love, by your love. There's a better on the way in the sky, Lord, in the sky, in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
We thank the giver and the gifts, and we hold all those prayers that have come through this week in the light and love of the one power present in each one of us. And so it is. Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trevor, Ray, and Catherine. Make sure you thank them for, again, bringing us wonderful music. So, before we get into our closing, let us bless our children, those who are online and those who are here. Children, we bless you. We the Christ in you. All right. For our closing, let us stand and close out with our peace song and then the prayer for protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us.
The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.